What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. Hope everyone's having a great time. So for the people who've been watching my videos and YouTube journey lately, they will know that I made a video where I talked about the anti-migration sentiment and the rise of that whole sentiment in the last few months. Specifically, I talked about a couple of things. So the title of the video was Are Indians Really Hated in Australia? I'll link that video in the description box as well if any one of you want to check that out. So I talked about a couple of things in specific in that previous video, which was my personal experiences in terms of if I have experienced any hatred or racism in the past 6 years living in this beautiful country. And main thing that I talked about was the narrative that the Indian media was trying to set when all these anti-migration rallies and protests were happening around the world. So I basically just gave my opinion and 2 cents in that video about this whole narrative that the Indian media was trying to set, and I also talked about my personal experiences in that video. So since then, I've been seeing this whole sentiment is on a rise, and hatred or racism, I wouldn't say racism, it's just like hatred against certain ethnic communities in the West. It's clearly prevalent now on social media, news, wherever you guys would be active. So for me, I've been off social media for a decent amount of time now. It's been almost a year and a half. I was off Instagram, I was off Facebook as well. Recently, a couple of months ago, I got back on Facebook. Reason was mainly because I wanted to buy and sell stuff off Marketplace. But again, when you get back on the platform, and especially during this holiday period when I have more than usual free time, I do get stuck in that rabbit hole of scrolling a couple of times. So getting back on Facebook, I don't know if it's my algorithm, but I've been seeing a lot of posts and a lot of comments and similar things on my feed where I'm seeing this post where the media, it's official news pages as well, or some groups who've been posting some stuff where they're talking about specific ethnic groups. Now I'm not going to say what specific things or what kind of posts they are. It's just like you can tell they're talking about specific ethnic communities, and the whole idea of that post is to create divide and promote hatred. Specifically, I will talk about the rising sentiment of hatred against, let's say, I'm an Indian migrant living in Australia for the last 6 years, so I might speak more in that context, but again, I'll take other communities in consideration as well. So one of the common things that I have noticed, a lot of that I've seen in the comment section is, or even in the anti-migration rallies where people are trying to express their anger and concern, they say that there is an assimilation problem, like Indians or any other specific communities that they're talking about. They don't assimilate when they come into the country, they don't embrace the culture, they don't mix up, and they don't respect the culture of that country. So that's one common thing that I've seen, that most of the people who are against migration, mass migration, have been speaking on. And my personal opinion on this, is that really true? Is that false? Well, honestly, of course, I don't have enough data or enough experiences to say if it's completely correct or incorrect. All I can talk about is my personal experience living in this country for the last 6 years. So when we speak about assimilation, I think personally, yes, it's an important thing. When you come into a new country, it's important to understand the way of life there. It's important to respect their culture. It's important to respect the lifestyle, and even learn a few ways so that you can integrate in the society. There's nothing wrong about it. I've been living here for 6 years, and I've done my bit in terms of integrating the society, learning the way of life, and overall assimilating in this beautiful country. So now, yes, some people might not really believe in this. I'm not specifically talking about any specific ethnic groups here. There can be people from every ethnic community or any other community that don't really want to assimilate, and they would usually look for friends or people from the same community that they are from, and they would not really make an effort to make friends or meet people outside of their culture, and they would not really want to understand or learn anything about the culture of the country that they have started to live in, basically. So again, I would say, some people do, of course, a lot of people, migrants in specific, when they come in, they try their best to learn the way of life, they try their best to integrate. Some of the people won't. I don't know which percentage is higher. I do not have enough data. From my personal experience, I think people do try a lot. People try very hard to assimilate and integrate in the society. Personally, myself, I've been living in this country for 6 years, and I have always tried my best. It's not even trying for me. For me personally, I'm a kind of person, I love learning about new cultures. I love meeting people from different cultures and countries to learn about their backgrounds. For me, that is something that gives me a lot of happiness, and it's basically a curiosity sort of thing that I just find it very interesting when I meet people outside of my culture and learn about their countries and their way of life. So for me, it was never a challenge. It was something that I liked. So I never took it as a challenge. But still, I would not deny that it is not easy as well. Yes, people would say that, oh, this specific person from this specific ethnic community wouldn't try to assimilate, or these people or this religion, people from this specific religion would always form groups of their own and they do not respect our culture, etc., etc. Even though you do try your best to integrate in the society, to absorb the culture. For me, like, I remember when I was new here, I was always trying my best to feel included, to make sure that I go into any social gatherings when it comes to work or study, just to make sure that I am embracing the culture, that I'm being a part of the group, and then I'm just not being a party pooper, basically. So I always have tried my best to assimilate and integrate in the society. A lot of people have been very welcoming and warm and patient as well, because of course when you're trying to get included, when you're trying to absorb a new culture, it could be really overwhelming. And if you are not feeling welcomed, or if you feel that the people are not patient towards you, you can lose yourself as well at times. So it's really important that you are with the right set of people as well, because some people, no matter how much you try to assimilate, let me tell you, they wouldn't care. They would still make you feel that you're invisible. They would still make you feel inferior. And again, this is not hatred against any ethnic group or community or the locals or whatever. It's just there are some kind of people that no matter how hard you try, they would still have shit to talk about you and your religion and your background. And it's disheartening. I have been in that situation where I've tried my best to feel included. I was at a point where I started losing myself, where I actually started to disassociate with myself as well. Like, I was like, this is not me. I'm trying to become someone who I not even like, and I'm still not getting liked and accepted by people. And it's a very tough spot to be in, because you kind of start to disassociate with your own authentic self. And I've been in that point where I was trying my best, I was doing everything to assimilate, I think, and of course, wherever I go, I always try to make sure that I'm representing my religion and my country in the best way possible, so that people don't really have anything wrong or anything negative to talk about my religion or country. I do that all the time, and I can say the same about the friend group I belong to. All of my friends, they do exactly the same. We try to represent ourselves in a way where people cannot talk bad things about us or our culture in general. If they do, of course, some people do have a problem. Some people will talk shit regardless. So honestly, you can't really do much about these kind of people. So what I'm trying to say is, people do try hard. It's not like a specific ethnic group is not trying at all to integrate in the society or the culture. They are trying. Everybody has their own pace of learning and absorbing things. Some people might find it really easy, some people might find it hard, but believe me, they are trying really hard. Like, I have tried hard, and I still have felt invisible in a lot of scenarios, but I've been lucky to meet a lot of good people who've made me feel really welcomed and made me feel like that I belong. and I'm really thankful that I actually got to meet those people, and I'm proud to call them friends. But not everyone has that luck. Not everyone would come across good people or people like this in their own journey. Like a lot of, I'll give you a quick example. So I went on a date. It was from dating apps a couple of days ago, and that girl was also a migrant. So she was on a certain type of visa that allows you to live for a few years and work as well. And she was from Italy. Again, of course, very thick accent, not a native English speaker, just like myself. I don't consider myself a very good English speaker. I think my English is very average, but of course I try my best to understand and improve my English as much as I can. And that person was exactly in the same boat as well. Not a native English speaker, but of course they do try their best to make sure that even though they have a very thick accent and everything, they are still trying their patient to understand the other person and make themselves understand to the other person. And she just talked about her experiences working at her workplace basically. So she said that at her workplace she works with all the locals or people who were born here. Now I don't want to say if they were, I don't want to talk about their skin color, right, if they were white, black or whatever, but she just mentioned that of course she works with the people who've been born in Australia. And she said something to me that I could really relate to. So she said to me that I'm really enjoying this time and this day with you because you are very patient with me, even though I'm not great at speaking English, but you are waiting for me to, where you're waiting for me to finish my sentence. You're really patient with me, and I do not really get this kind of behavior at work or with my local friends. They will always try to make me feel not included. They will always have their own outings or gatherings, and whenever I'm trying to talk to people as well, I feel very rushed because when I try to speak or when I try to express myself, it's just like people keep cutting me off. And I could relate to her because look, I'm in the exact same situation as well. I've lived in this country for a longer time as compared to her. But having that said, I've had similar experiences as well in the beginning when I was trying to really embrace the culture, work on improving my English. And I've had situations where I would know that this person is just not, they're trying to cut me off. They're not like, they're really respecting my hustle here. They don't really respect that this is not my first language, but I'm still trying to embrace it. I'm still trying to do my best. But again, I had completely different people as well who've been really, really nice and welcoming and patient with me, of course, in my initial stages. And luckily for me, it's been the other way around. Like I've had much more better people as compared to the other ones. So when I heard that, I felt like, of course, I felt it to be really relatable. And of course I told her my part of the story as well, that it used to happen with me initially as well. And I can definitely understand that sometimes no matter how hard you try to assimilate or embrace the culture or be a part or try to feel included, it just doesn't matter. They will still make you feel like you're invisible, honestly. And that's not a great feeling. Like you start to lose yourself. Like she in specific told me that for her, she really developed anxiety. She was at a point where she gained a lot of weight because she was stress eating a lot as well. People have different coping mechanisms to deal with their mental health issues. So for her, she gained a lot of weight because she was doing a lot of stress eating. So it's basically whenever she used to feel stressed or anxious, she would just start baking and eat all the sweets basically. It's not funny, of course. People have different ways to manage stress, and that was basically her way of fighting the stress or anxiety that she used to have. Luckily, of course, she was lucky enough to find a good therapist that helped her to basically navigate through these feelings and control these urges. So yeah, long story short, what I'm trying to say is that people do try migrants in specific, when they come to this country, most of them do try to assimilate. They're trying their best to understand the way of life. And I'm not saying the people are not understanding towards them, like the native people are not understanding. Most of the people in my experience have been really nice and amazing, and helping towards myself and of course the other migrants as well. Some of the people are not, and so, and there's really not much you can do, to change perception or mindset of an individual or a group of individuals. Like, there's not much you can do. So, and of course you can't really control or change whatever that's being controlled by the media or these big platforms and pages on social media. Like, as just specific individuals, we cannot do much other than just expressing our own views and opinions, and making sure that we try to share the right things and practices with the people that we meet in this journey. So there's only two things that I would like to say and end this video. Basically, don't want to stretch this too much. So from a migrant perspective, yes, it's important to assimilate and integrate with the society if you are going to a new country. And yes, having that said, you don't have to lose yourself in that process. Do that. Make sure that you still have an identity. You still have, you still are connected to your roots and culture. But again, it's important to learn the way of life when you start living in a new country. It's simple. When in Rome, do as Romans do. On the other hand, people who are not doing it, I suggest that it's good that if you try to inculcate some practices to fit in, to integrate, to embrace the culture, to respect the culture. On the other hand, the natives or locals, people do try hard to become part of the culture, or part of the society. And I know most of you guys are very nice and welcoming and helping and patient towards us migrants. But yeah, if you're not, please learn to be a bit patient with someone. If you come across someone who's new and who's actually trying hard, who's hustling to learn the way of life here, to make a living, least you can do is just be nice and patient towards that person. And that's all we can do. Like, we can just do our bit in this society to make this country or make this world a better place in general. All of us are trying hard, be it the migrants, being the natives, all of us are trying to make an honest living out here. And I honestly don't see a reason to discriminate. Like, I just don't understand this whole ideology, and I don't know not a lot about these things happening in the world as well. Neither do I want to talk a lot. All I can say is, as individuals, be it migrants, be it natives, all we can do is be more understanding and patient towards each other's, and respect each other's background and culture, and just help each other grow in general. That's it. That was just my personal opinion, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys do like the content, if you guys do like the stuff that I talk about, please give us a like and tell us about your opinions in the comment section. It actually helps a lot, and I would appreciate a lot if I could, of course, get some feedback from you guys, or from any ideas or any topics that you guys would like me to talk about. But that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I wish everyone a very happy and prosperous new year.